All of my tattoos have stories.
Mm-hmm.
The two are really good.
Okay.
So my family has a history of, my immediate family has a history of doing things we have no training to do and no reason we should possibly be able to do this stuff. So a great example is we woke up one morning when my youngest son was maybe 5, and my middle son and I, we were like, we should build a bunk bed for Talon. Talon's the baby. We should build a bunk bed for Talon, shaped like a castle with like a tower you can climb up and a rock wall on the outside. And, I mean, you know. And so we went and bought wood and started making it, like with no plan. We just sketched out like it's going to look like this, and started making it, and it ended up being amazing. I mean, now along the way, we built one whole tower incorrectly, the one that he was going to climb up inside. Okay, and we had to throw that away and start from scratch. Okay, but it didn't stop us. We were just like, I guess our mentality is always like, if we quit now, we fail. But if we keep going, eventually we'll make it.
Okay.
All right. And my mom calls that bumblebeeing your way through it. You know how the bumblebee he's trying to find his house? Really, it's a carpenter bee. He'll try to find his house. He's bump, 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 bump. And eventually he'll find it like, oh, here's my house. And he goes in. So she says, like a bumblebee's too fat to fly and his wings don't beat fast enough. And he has no business flying, but he doesn't know that. So he flies anyway because he's too stupid to realize he can't. So that's what we call it. We call it bumblebee. Anyway, I have a bumblebee right here, like a photorealistic bumblebee.
Okay.
It looks like it's sitting there. It's really awesome. All of my tattoos have stories like that. Okay. This is the one. Everything that has happened in my life has happened centered around one event, and that was my dad was the youth director in Bainbridge, Georgia. When I was 16, he got caught having a relationship with my ex-girlfriend, who was 15 at the time. And I confronted him about it first. And he was kind of brutally strict. Like, he would spank you like he was happy about it, you know. So the day that I really figured out what was going on, I snuck into his office at the church. I went through his desk and I found some letters from her, found some gifts she had given him, including like a little bear with a sign that says, I love you and everything. And I said to myself, if there's nothing to this, if this is not what it seems, he'll come in, and when I show it to him, he'll say, what do you do in my office? You do in my office, blah, blah, and he'll freak out. But if he sees what I have and he backs up, I know he's guilty. That's just not him. It's not who he is. He never backs up. So I sat there at his desk, facing the door, with everything spread out in front of me. When he came in the door, I said, explain this to me. Just like that. And he backed up. He was like, that's not what it looks like. I was done. I just stormed out of his office, got in my car, and left. We had grown up here in Alabama, and I don't know where. I guess I was coming to Alabama. You know,
I just got in
the car and said I quit being part of his family. 16 years old, no plan, no nothing. So eventually, I had to go back home, and he got the preacher to lie to me, basically, and say, "You're trying to ruin your father's ministry. This is all in your head." Or what? And then, like 6 months later, it was just after he got away with that, it just became blatant. And 6 months later, my mom left him, but he married her. He was 37, and he married her at 16. They have 2 kids together. They're still married to this day. Everything in my life has hinged around that event because I was so mad at him for so long, so mad. Just at the hypocrisy and so much of what I've done in my life and accomplished in my life has been because I had like a fire in my belly saying, I'm going to show him. I'm going to show him that he didn't beat me. after a while, I tried to let go of that anger. The way that I found that I had to do it was I had to pretend like all of that happened to somebody else. I really had to sit and focus and pretend like all of that happened to somebody else. And I am a different person now than I was back then. So it's easier now at 50 for me to say I'm not the same person I was at 16 or 26 when I was still angry. But when all that happened, I took a when all that happened, I took a knife and cut a slice on my arm and gave myself a scar to remember that I would never forgive him. Like, that is going to be a constant in my life. I will never forgive him. Every time I see that, I'll remember, never forgive him.
Wow.
Another one was, I guess I'm self-reflection, looking inside saying, you are a broken person. Understand that you're broken, and that there are times when your wife is going to tell you things that seem wrong to you, like, baby, you can't say that, or baby, don't do this. And you need to follow her because, she's got a better mindset on certain things than you do. You're coming from a broken place. So not all of the cuts were bad. As I got older, as I realized that I didn't have to be angry all the time, that I was really poisoning myself and not, my anger wasn't doing anything to him, and my wins weren't doing anything to him. That he didn't care if I won, he didn't care if I lost, he didn't care if I was mad. Nothing I did affected him. I had to learn to pull back and really picture that happened to a different person, and I was a changed person. And then when my granddaughter was born, I said, that needs to be, she needs to be my focus now, not him. She needs to be my focus. And her name is Melody, and I got a tattoo of like a bar staff over his cut. So I still have the old two, the other two, the Listen to Your Wife, and the other one, but I put it over his. So, it was a good way to, I guess, heal and move on and say, I'm not that person anymore. I'm not letting it control me anymore.